Hi everybody and welcome to another batch cooking video. In this video I'm making cheesy enchiladas, right? I don't know if I'm doing this right, but I saw someone else making like this cheesy, chickeny filling to go in tortilla wraps, and I was like, that looks decent, I can make this into enchiladas. So, starting off with some beef tallow, and then I'm frying off some onions in my big pan, the one that got burned, but then Dave saved it, so thanks Dave. Everyone needs a Dave in their life because he just, you know, helps you out. And yeah, so chicken's going in. I use those huge packs from Aldi. It was about $11.99 I think. And then I'm going to throw in all my seasonings. We've got Old Bay as usual. I love Old Bay. Old Bay and slap me mama. Oh, it's brilliant. And then some onion powder. Is that garlic? No, that's onion powder, garlic powder, some white pepper. It really doesn't come out very well, does it? And then some salt. Give that a good mix. I did add some, what did I add to that? Oh, that's right, it just sort of, the juice came out of nowhere, and then I just put some butter in, and then I've added some flour bit by bit to thicken up the sauce. And don't worry, there was no lumps, I just gave it a really good mix, but adding a little bit at a time really helped. Another thing I did whilst making this was that I put my plastic chopper dish on one of the hob rings, thinking it was off, but my lovely hob decided to turn itself on and melt the plastic. Don't worry, we really aired the house out, but now I don't have a chopper anymore. Oh, here I am adding some cream cheese that I got from Aldi, just the full fat stuff because that's the good stuff. All that goes in there. It was actually quite thick at this point, and I think this just helped it get a little bit thicker. Kind of like I'm making a ruble in a different way, but with cream cheese instead of shredded cheese. And then here we are assembling it. So I got my wrap. These again were from Aldi. I did a bit of a trip to Aldi, as you can imagine. So I just added that mixture in the middle, put plenty of it on. Probably got too much chicken in there, but I didn't really have any more veggies in there because it was like a safe food for James. He doesn't like vegetables in his food, and I get that, but I do try and encourage him to eat some veggies now and then. Even if he does pick them out of his food, they're there when he wants them. But yeah, so we added some mozzarella to this. Also, this was James's absolute favourite. He loved it, and then he had it for lunch again today. Winner. So rolling this up, and then I've sort of sprayed this dish here, just so they didn't stick. And then I've added the rest of the sauce on top, put that in the oven with some cheese, and I left these ones plain because some of the kids don't like a lot of sauce. So we've got options. This wasn't really like a batch cook. It was more of a some for now, some for later kind of thing. But we had some cake with it too, because these all needed eating. Oh, salami and tortillas and dip. And I put loads of hot sauce on mine because I'm spiced. Hello everybody and welcome back to obviously another video of more batch cooking. So in today's video I'm making my own meatballs. These are pork and beef meatballs, and as you can see here I'm putting it into a dish because I'm going to combine everything together. I think out of all the batch cooking meals that I've made, this one was the best. So easy to make and very cost effective, which I will show you at the end when it's all done. But we're adding some Old Bay. Somebody said in the comments that I was Queen of Old Bay, and I will take that. I will take that title proudly. So we've got some oregano, some garlic powder, we've got some onion powder. You want to have plenty of onion powder. Then we've got some, what did I put in here? I think it's parsley. Did I have parsley to that? I can't remember. It's going in there anyway. White pepper, and then we've got, I'm trying to get lots of that out, and then we've got some salt. So you just want to like, oh, I added eggs as well. We've got eggs, 2 eggs. These are medium-sized eggs, just so it can bind together. You can have breadcrumbs if you want. I didn't have any, and I've got my gloves on, and I'm just basically going to squish it all together and try my best to get it all combined and mixed in. I nearly lost my bowl there. But yeah, you just want to smush it around, squeeze it about like you're making, I don't know, bread or something like that. And just want to get all that combined together really. Squishing about, make sure those herbs and seasonings get everywhere, which I find quite difficult when you're mixing up mince and you're squishing mince. Anyway, so I try to get them all sort of looking the same. I don't want to make huge ones, as you can see. I'm trying to like perfect a standard meatball size. Is that too big? Is that too small? I don't know, but they all kind of looked like this. I can't even remember how many I made. I made about 50 something. I can't remember. I've eaten them now, so who knows. Got almost 50 meatballs out of this, as you can see here. I just ovened them, and then I made loads of pasta, put them into my trays. Then I added the meatballs on top, portioned it all out. And then this is how I make my sauce. So I blitzed down 4 tins of chopped tomatoes. So that'll be the base of my sauce. Then we're going over to the hob. I'm adding olive oil today instead of my tallow, because it's, you know, it's an Italian dish, isn't it, really? And olive oil goes very well with tomatoes and whatnot. I just find that's how I like it. I'm adding an onion. My chopper ceased to be, so I've got to find another chopper. But yeah, and then you cook the onion down a bit, add your tomatoes that you've blitzed up. Honestly, it's the best sauce. This is how I make my base to any sauce that's tomatoey. I use blitzed tomatoes, I use fresh, well, it's not really fresh, it's tinned tomatoes. But I find it better than using a jar sauce. Oh, I added some beef stock as well. But you do have to cook this down a bit because obviously it's a bit runny. Oh, fresh basil. Add that fresh basil. It is a game changer to any sauce like this. You've got to add fresh basil. So good. And then I'm going to add some seasonings at some point. Where do I add them seasonings? Oh, it's me looking in the cupboard. I think I forgot that I was recording at this point. You didn't press pause, Emma. See, now I'm going into the cupboard and you can see the process of me pulling out the vinegar and other things, because I have a full cupboard of spices and things like that, and you have to find everything. So here I am doing that. Salt. I use the sea salt this time, and then we've got cracked black pepper. We add some Old Bay, because I am now the queen of Old Bay apparently. Got to get some more off Amazon. And then we've got some oregano. That's right, isn't it? Garlic. We've got onion powder. I always use the same things. It's okay. And here's the sauce after I let it simmer down for a few, I think about an hour or something. Maybe less than that. Maybe, yeah, about 30 minutes I think I let it simmer down for until it got the texture I wanted. And then I carefully ladled it all in. Hello everybody, I'm going to show you how I do my bacon, egg and cheese muffin, or you know, if you want to call them muffins, that's up to you. Ready for the freezer. Now I made 20 in total. I am going to put costs on the screen shortly. You may see them around here. Also, I would apologise, I'm doing this voiceover whilst in my car on the way to get a coffee. So I do apologise for the sounds of cars and road noises. So I picked up these English muffins from Waitrose, and they were 36p for 4, because, you know, get your reduced bakery items, trust me. Get all your reduced bakery items, your bread, your muffins, throw them in the freezer and just thaw them out and they'll be fine. That's what I do. So here we have some egg that I've just cooked up. So I put cheese on first. The cheese was about 68p for 10 slices of cheese from Asda. I just buy the Asda's Essential range because it's just the same as any other branded cheese. Well, you know, the plastic fake American cheese, that's the kind of what, you know, we're going to go for this. So yeah, so I'm layering this on. So we've got a bit of egg, we've got our cheese, and then I've got some bacon that I cooked, pre-cooked the bacon, so that's going to go on there. Some of it was very crispy, and I love crispy bacon. Anyone else love a bit of crispy bacon? It's very nice. So then I'm just putting all the tops on them here. Look how lovely they look. And then I'm going to wrap them up in some foil. Now if you want to heat them up after they've been in the microwave, do take the foil off, don't blow your microwave up for me, or you can put them into your air fryer. Air fryer was quite good, we had that this morning, it's very tasty. So yeah, so I'm going to wrap all of those up, repeat the process. 20 times I did this, so we made 20 sausage, bacon, egg and cheese muffins, which worked out at 60p a muffin. McMuffin. Hello everybody and welcome to another batch cooking video. I wasn't actually planning to batch cook this morning, but the kids wanted pancakes for breakfast, so I thought, well, I've only got 3 left in the freezer, I kind of need more in there, so I just made more pancakes. Now I do have to apologise, anybody that's new here thinking, why isn't this girl giving me a recipe? Because I do everything by eye. I add my flour, I add my baking powder, I add 2, oh, even an eggshell, 2 eggs, well, they're fairly large eggs, aren't they? 2, my bowl, did I add 3? That was a struggle, wasn't it, that one? I added 3 eggs. And then what I do is I add milk until I get a batter, basically. And anybody can do it like this. I find it easier just to do everything by eye, because usually it works out absolutely fine. Usually. So here I am whisking it all up, and then I get the right consistency. I just keep adding milk until I like what it is. Now I'm going to cook it on this big, what is it now? It's a grill thing that Dave got me for Christmas. I'm adding some rapeseed oil, and then I'm just spreading it around with this brush I've got. If anyone doesn't have a spray bottle, this is probably going to be the best bet for you. And then I get a spoon, and that's how I measure it, just with my spoon here, and then just spoon it all onto the grill. I think I did about 6 in this batch, but they were smaller than what I wanted. I did actually make bigger ones after this. So here they are, and then I just flip them over. They cook so perfectly on this. Oh, something in that, maybe a bit of eggshell. Yeah, they cook really, really well on this. I love it. And then I get my silver tray out. It's just easier for me to put everything in one of these trays, and then I just put them all into the tray. I'm just making sure they're all cooked on the other side, and they go into the tray. The kids had 2 each for breakfast, apart from Nelia, she had toast. Here I am just putting some more oil down. I probably didn't need to add more oil, but hey ho, we did anyway. I wanted to get a nice crispy outside to these pancakes. Also, I didn't add sugar or anything else to flavour these pancakes because I kind of want them to be sweet or savoury. Now, if you want to have savoury pancakes, I suggest putting it with some cheese, and letting that cheese melt on your pancake, and you've got a savoury pancake. Or you can have them sweet and add what my kids did this morning, which was golden syrup and some squirty cream. They love that combination. Either have that or Nutella or something like Nutella. So here I am just again spreading the oil around. Oh, there's a tiny burnt pancake on there. My kids call them tiny pancakes. And then I'm ladling some more of that batter on. I think these were actually slightly bigger, which is kind of what I wanted. So yeah, my kids adore these pancakes. We have them all the time. I started making these pancakes back when James was a baby, and he's loved them ever since, and he loves pancakes. If he knows I'm making pancakes, he's there. He's there watching me, he's there looking at the process, he just loves them. And then I think this was the last batch I did. I can't quite remember how many I actually did. Oh, here I am eating some toast for my breakfast. But we did a lot, and we've got a lot now in the freezer. So here they are. I just put them all into the tray. There's a lot in there. And yeah, and then to put them in the freezer, you layer them in a bag with some grease-proof paper between, and you're good to go. Hello everybody, I'm going to share with you something my family really enjoyed. These are Staffordshire Oat Cakes. Now I bet you're thinking, Emma, are you from Stafford? No, I'm not. But Dave's mum and dad lived in Stafford for a while, and they discovered these oat cakes while there, and they've had them ever since. And then when me and Dave got together, he was like, Emma, you need to try oat cakes. I was like, alright, what is this? I thought it was a pancake, and it really isn't. There's nothing quite like it. It's so different in the flavour. But when you try these oat cakes, you will never go back. You'll be like, you'll have a craving for it. Just as we do now, our kids eat these oat cakes and they love them. So I'm making an oat cake bake. This is just one of the ways that you can use these oat cakes, which, by the way, are very cheap. But I understand that you can't get them everywhere. I'm from Shropshire, and we can get them around these parts. Check out your local Tesco. Anyway, so I've wrapped ham and cheese in them, and then I'm going to put on beans. We like ours with beans, but you can have them with cheese and marmite. You can have them sweet with a bit of, I don't know, butter and jam or Nutella. It's supposed to be really good. So I'm just going to put these beans on top. Some co-op beans I found in the cupboard, and I've got some Tesco beans. But yeah, so I'm making like a bake out of it, like an enchilada kind of vibe, I think. Kind of like an enchilada, isn't it? Enchiladas. So I'm just going to cover that in some beans, and then got to load it up with some cheese as well. So I'm going to sprinkle lots of mature cheese on top. Here I'm doing that now. You wouldn't believe how much cheese I'm going through right now. I've got to get some more. I'm going to find like a massive block of cheese that'll keep me going for about a week or less. So yeah, to sprinkle that cheese on top, you pop it in the oven until the cheese is melted and gone crispy a bit. It's so good. Usually we just have like a couple in the microwave, but this was like, this leveled up the oat cakes. Everybody had some. It was really filling, really cheap, really yummy. I highly recommend.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to another batch cooking video, and today I'm making another pasta batch cook video. So in my last one, or my last pasta meal, we made meatballs, but today I'm making almost like a carbonara inspired dish. It's basically pancetta with mushrooms and onions and a creamy sauce. Something a little bit different. I've never actually done this before, so we're learning together. So I'm starting off with 2 large onions. These weren't as spicy as the other onions I had the last time I did a onion cutting video. I don't even know what I'm saying now. But these ones made me tear up towards the end. Can we just all admire the huge bowl of eggs I've got there? Anyway, onions all chopped up. I cooked all the pasta, and I don't strain it like the normal way because the pan is so huge. So I just get like a little sieve and like dip it in. I'm like, oh, I'll just drain it this way. It's actually easier to do it like this. And then when I'm able to like, you know, lift the pot and pour the contents into another colander in the sink, then I will do that. But for now, this is easy. So I've got 2 dishes. One's for tonight's dinner, one is going to go in the freezer, and it is in the freezer now. So I'm just trying to like portion these off so it's kind of equal in both. We did have a bit left over, which Evelyn ate for her lunch. Now for the sauce, I'm using olive oil, and you can use whatever oil you want. And this is the onion. Throwing the onion in when the oil gets nice and hot. And then I'm adding the pancetta. So I let the onions cook until they're kind of like translucent. And then I added 2 packs of pancetta, even though this looks like 2 packs. And technically I added 4 packs of pancetta, which is what I got at my big food shop, if you want to go and check that out. So I gave that a really good mix, let it do its thing. Here I am adding the second one. Funny thing is, I forgot to turn on the second ring burner thing on this. I thought, like, why is it going so slow? Like, why is it cooking slowly? Then I realised. Now I'm adding this bag of mushrooms that I got from Morrison's. So you know Morrison's have got their like salad bar. Well, sometimes they have more mushrooms than they need, and so they sell it to us, the public, for £1. Also, I'm adding some butter to that as well. And then when that's melted down, I then add some flour. This is going to thicken the sauce. I'm kind of like making a roux almost, but like a roux in the sauce, in like, you know, the ingredients that I'm using, instead of making it separately. So I'm adding a little bit more flour here. Going to cook that off for a little bit. Always cook off your flour a bit, otherwise your sauce will taste floury. So give that a really good mix, and then I go ahead and add some stock to that. I actually added chicken stock this time. I did add a little bit more because it's quite thick, but the funniest thing is that I forgot to add seasoning to this, and here I am recording something else. Oh, here goes some cream cheese. There's a full fat cream cheese. This is going to add the creamy element to this dish. So I'm going to give that a really good mix. Just make sure that cream cheese melts and gets all lovely. And then, like, here I am now adding all of the seasoning because for some reason I forgot to add seasoning. Like, what is with that? So I'm adding garlic powder, onion powder, salt, pepper. This is a lemon and herb Old Bay that I found in Morrison's. So I'm giving that a really good mix, and I did sort of taste it after, and it was like really, really good. I was wondering, like, why is it so bland? Seasoning. Anyway, so you want to just spoon that into your dishes. I did the best I could with this, managed to get it sort of equally in, and you know, I had a good amount, and it did do for both the dishes. Then I'm going to top it with some mozzarella, and it's done. All lovely. Hello everybody, and welcome to another video. Now, in a previous video I had a comment that said, can you make a old school cheese flan? Now, I've never made one before, but I thought, well, you know, we can give it a go. So sprayed my dish with some of the spray I've got over there from Costco, and then I'm using already made shop bought short crust pastry. It didn't quite fit, so I just trimmed the edges and then just plastered up, you know, the other sides. Patched up the sides. As you can see here, I'm just going to take them off, and then I just sort of like squished it all in. Is that the words where you squish everything together? Yeah, it kind of reminded me of a quiche, but this is just maybe just a cheese quiche. I don't know. Maybe it's different. Maybe quiches are made differently. I am not actually sure about that. But like everything else, you've got to give it a go. So as you can see, I've patched that up quite well. And then it's got to go in the oven to blind bake for about 10 minutes, depending on your oven. I've got a fan electric oven. Are they the same thing? Probably not, but that's as much as I know about things. But yeah, you've got to just jab it around with a fork, just in case it tries to get, you know, expanded. Anyway, so this is a huge jug I got yesterday from the wholesaler. I'm quite proud of myself. Quite a good jug. And I'm adding 4 large eggs into this jug from my big bowl of eggs here, which will get used, don't worry. I'm going to give that a quick whisk before I add any more ingredients, just so everything gets like lovely and combined together. It's been a long day, it's only Tuesday. Adding 400ml of milk. I'm using whole milk for this one, and I nearly lost my phone right there. So I'm giving that a good mix, and then at this point I decided to season with just salt and pepper. That's all you really need. So I'm adding white pepper, and I'm going to give that a mix, and then I add like loads of cheese, because cheese is the answer to everything. You got to add a lot of cheese to get that cheese flavour. So I'm going to give that a good mix. It's kind of difficult to mix the cheese in because it kind of sinks to the bottom and just stays there. Well, that's fine. And then it comes out and it's shrunk a bit, which is, you know, it's okay. We might get away with it. No, we didn't get away with it because it spilt out all over the edges. Well, at this point, I really didn't care because I really didn't know what I was doing, but we were just going to do it anyway. Just, you know, wing it. Spread some of that cheese around that got stuck to the bottom. I was just winging it at this point. And yeah, so I'm going to go put it in the oven. And when I put it in the oven, I spilt some at the bottom of the oven, which wasn't good. Here it is now, all nice and cooked. I think it took about 20 minutes to cook, something like that. And here it is. It did have a bit of a soggy bottom, but that's okay. I'm not on bake-off or anything, so no one's going to score me down. But Dave liked it. Some kids liked it, some of the kids didn't. That's fine. At least Dave likes it. Everybody, let me show you what I do with these 5kg bag of carrots that I got from the wholesaler Bookers. So we do have a Costco, but it's like an hour away from us, and with the kids off from school, it was just easier to go to Bookers on this occasion, but don't you worry, I will go to Costco soon. Now, back to the carrots. So I'm going to chop them in two different ways. I'm going to make carrot sticks. Some of them will go into the fridge, some of them will go into the freezer. My children are quite strange because they won't eat like carrot sticks when they're cooked, or any cooked carrots for that matter, but they will eat raw carrots. I do hand them off to a couple of children that sort of are walking by that want to eat some carrot sticks. So that's why I put a bag of carrot sticks into the fridge. I'll also be cutting these up into like little carrot cubes for cooking, which will go into the freezer. It just makes life easier when I'm trying to make different meals. It also means I can buy in bulk, chop everything up and have it all there. The carrot cubes, as I like to call them, go into things like cottage pie, shepherd's pie. Anything that requires a bit of carrot will go into there, and I can just grab some out of the freezer, throw it in, and it's done. And then same with the carrot sticks, they're just like a side dish thing, a side dish veggie if you like, and I'll just take them out of the freezer, throw them into the steamer, done. When I do it like this, it makes my life so much easier. However, I did get a blister from cutting all these up. And here I am just popping them into their bags, and they're all done. Some for the fridge, some for the freezer.
Hi everybody, let's make some sausage rolls and some sausage patties to go with some breakfasts. So I picked up some sausage, it's like sausage, mint sausage, what do you call it? Well, I picked some up reduced from Marks and Spencer. I know, right, so bougie. But let's face it, I'm only in there for the bargains. So I've got my puff pastry out and I'm just trying to like squish those bits together because it's all sort of cracked. Don't ask why, it just has. And if you're wondering why I'm wearing gloves for, oh, there's my bargain. It's because I have a certain type of eczema on my hand, which is caused by basically my hands being wet a lot. I'm always washing up, I'm always, you know, cooking and cleaning and everything, so that's probably why. And yes, I do wear gloves when I do wash up, but it still happens. So to protect my hands, I wear gloves. And it seems to be working because my eczema's clearing up. Yay! Anyway, I'm making mini sausage rolls here, so I'm just going to cut the pastry up into like smallish, smallish squares, so that I can sort of like fold them over and make the sausage rolls. Now I'm just getting my mince out here. I'm doing this very awkwardly. Mince, it's sausage, isn't it? Sausage mince? What do we call it? I can't remember. So I'm just putting a little blob in there and I'm going to fold it over, pinch the sides, just the one side would do. I wasn't quite sure what I was doing at this point, but I just did the one side and then I've scored it slightly down the middle and I've popped it into a dish that I've sprayed. Here they all are, they go into the oven. And then with this, I thought, what am I going to do with this? So I made some sausage patties to go with some breakfast, like, you know, the little muffins that I make where you can put them on bagels or just have them at the side of your plate for your breakfasts, or brinner, you know, breakfast dinner's brinner. I was trying to figure out how to squish this down, but in the end I ended up putting a bit of oil on my hands and then sort of squishing it down. It worked way better that way. So I'm just going to squish all of these down, as you can see. I think I made about 9 of these. 6 went onto this tray and I put another 3. Was it another 2? No, I did another 2 on another tray. So that's 8 in total, and then when they were cooked I put them into a bag into the freezer to have whenever we want them. I usually buy these sort of pre-made and I've got a box in the freezer, but this was quite fun. I'm going to get some cheaper sausage meat from like, I don't know, Asda or Tesco or somewhere, and see if they actually do become cheaper than the ones you get in the box. Kids love having these with the English muffins, almost like a deconstructed breakfast. Here I am decloving. And here they are all cooked. They're quite nice, a little bit misshaped, but they'll be fine. And here are all the sausage rolls, nice and cooked. These are so good though. Hi everybody and welcome back to another video. And today's video I'm going to show you how to make the most simple pizza bagel. So basically you want to get yourself a pack of bagels. I got mine from Aldi. Cut them in half, and now half of a bagel will be a serving. So yeah, I'm going to put them on my baking tray, cut them in half, and I'm going to add, it's a jar of Dolmio bolognese sauce. It's a sauce I found in my garage. Also my garage is my pantry. I've got shelves in there with loads of food and stuff. That's where I keep most of my food. Maybe one day we'll do a pantry tour. So right now I'm just going to use this jar sauce. I'm going to put it all on. I do about 2 tablespoons per half of a bagel. You can use whatever sauce you want, passata, tomato paste, anything you really want. And then I'm going to add the mozzarella cheese here. It's in a separate bag because I buy mine in bulk, and then I just put them into different bags and way, hey, there we go. So I'm just going to put the cheese on top here, and then they go into the oven until they melt and crisp slightly on top, just like pizza. My kids love these. They love anything pizza, pizza bagels, pizza anything, they'll eat it. And this is what it looks like after. And James had one for his lunch, which I'm just going to do shut for him here, and the rest are going in the freezer for another. Hi everybody, I'm going to show you how I make a very easy, simple bread recipe. I use this recipe for pretty much everything. Bagels, pizza, bread, rolls, whatever you want to do. Disclaimer though, it's not the correct way to make bread, but it is a way. So I've warmed up some milk in a bowl, I've added some yeast, and I'm adding some maple syrup to activate that yeast. So I've got about 2 teaspoons of yeast, and then you want to give it a mix and let it do its thing for a little bit. Now usually you would use bread flour. Do that. I'm using self-raising flour because it's what I've got at home, and that's how I originally created this recipe. So I'm adding 8 scoops of this flour into my bowl to begin with, but when I add the milk mixture, if the dough is too wet, I'll just keep adding the flour until it gets to the right consistency. So as you can see here, it is quite wet, so I'm going to add some more flour into this. I added a few more scoops here. Also, I'm making a loaf of bread. Now you can get right in here with your hands, But at this stage, it being so wet as it was, I decided to use a spoon, but I do eventually start using my hands. Also, just to add, you don't have to use maple syrup. Use any kind of sweetener you want, or sweet thing. You can use honey, which I've used multiple times before now. You could probably use agave nectar. So I tried to knead it in my mixer, but she just wasn't having any of it, so I kneaded it by hand. But as you can see, it was still quite wet. So got it to the right consistency, and then I kneaded it by hand for 10 minutes. Then it went into warm room to prove. This is the most satisfying part. Punch your dough. It's lovely. Then I put it into my tin, proved it again for 30 minutes. It's very important. And then I baked it in the oven for about 20 minutes. Wasn't a huge loaf, but it just did the trick, and it was so, so good.